Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here. The Nut Job is a movie that's ended up on a lot of top 10 worst animated films lists, but does it really taste that bad? Well, there's only one way to find out. I was hoping it would taste like almond, but it tastes like a squirrel's vagina! Based on the short film Surly Squirrel, The Nut Job is an animated comedy movie about a squirrel called Surly, who is banished from his park for causing trouble. While trying to survive in the city with his best friend, Buddy the Rat, Surly comes across a nut shop and he plans to steal from it. One of the park's animals, Andy the squirrel, catches wind of Surly's discovery and she makes a deal with Surly to work with the park's animals for a major nut heist. So Surly reluctantly teams up with the critters who banished him, but the park animal's leader, Raccoon, turns out to have shady plans behind the scenes. Meanwhile, a gang of robbers are using the nut shop as a cover-up for their upcoming bank heist, and aim to create a tunnel from the shop's basement. This is a really bland movie. There's nothing about it that makes it stand out from the hundreds of animated films out there. It's just another generic talking animal comedy with a star-studded voice cast. We've already got dozens of those. When I browse the animation market, I want to see a wide library of variety, not a bunch of films that look like clones of each other, and the Nut Job is fueling this overproduction of the same thing. Animation is a medium with boundless potential. You can tell any kind of stories at all with it. So why waste a limitless art form copying the same formula again and again and again? The Nut Job's lack of uniqueness is made worse by how much it reminds me of DreamWorks' Over the Hedge, another film about wild animals trying to sneakily steal food from humans with the help of a critter out for himself. Now, I'm not certain whether the Nut Job intentionally ripped off Over the Hedge, but the glaring similarities further hinder its potential to stand out. The film does attempt to spice things up by juxtaposing the animal's nut shop break-in with the human's bank heist, but it's really on the nose about the comparison, constantly reminding us how the A and B plots are similar. We get the joke already. The park animals are performing an activity that closely resembles the human's activity. It's not as funny or clever as you think, movie. Heck, the humans and animals plots mirror each other so much that it becomes too far-fetched to believe. When it comes down to it too, we're watching the same exact events being told twice, which is redundant storytelling. The humans and animals also feel disconnected from each other in terms of narrative. The film tries to make things personal by having the gangster leader be afraid of rodents and making the gangsters rely on the bags of nuts as decoys for the stolen money bags. But these are very weak excuses to force the humans into caring about what the animals are doing. Initially, the animals don't pose much of a threat to the bank heist, so the movie seems to be grasping at straws to make them a problem for the gangsters. In my opinion, it would have worked better if the animals were facing the real owner of a nut shop, or the animals were planning to steal money from the same bank as the gangsters. The movie also isn't very funny. Sure, it got one or two mild chuckles out of me, but it's not exactly a consistent laugh riot. Most of the comedy is made up of easy gags like forced slapstick and pointless fart jokes. Making a character constantly fall over or obnoxiously break wind isn't instant comedy gold, movie. It's pretty much a sign that you can't be asked to write clever humour. I'm going to give 0 points to the content. Surly is an awful and highly unlikable lead character, a selfish prick who doesn't care about anyone else's feelings or problems. He's not even a funny jerk like Daffy Duck, Cusco or Bender, he's just an all-round horrible character.
Buddy, did you see anything?
Wait, you're asking him? He can't help you, you're wasting your time. He's useless, can't speak. Only knows how to take orders. Kinda like you, Andy.
The film often has the cheeky audacity to sometimes make us feel sorry for him, even though he has no redeemable qualities or charismatic appeal. Yes, he comes around towards the end of the movie, but I'm sick of films that leave their character development for the climax. They have their lead hero act like a jackass for 90 minutes and think we'll suddenly like them if they do a good deed in the finale. That's rubbish development. We need compelling reasons to believe that a flawed character can improve as the film goes on. Last-minute character revelations don't compensate for spending ages with an asshole. Andy is the voice of reason in the park's community. She cares about the animals she lives with and is always willing to risk her life to look after them. While this is admirable, I honestly don't care about these animals enough to empathize with them the way that Andy does. When it comes down to it, the park's animals aren't that interesting or likable. They don't get much development and spend most of the movie doing fart jokes. What also bothers me is how easily forgiving Andy is towards Surly. She knows he's an irredeemable jerk, yet she has the cheek to constantly defend him or look out for him, even though he doesn't give a shit about anyone. Grayson is recognized as the park's hero because he saved the community many times. However, he's very egocentric, always inappropriately hitting on Andy, and actually a bit of a coward. You can tell that the movie just wanted to make a character more unlikable than Surly, so that we could find it easier to like our lead. But that's not how it works, movie. Instead of making Surly more likable in comparison to Grayson, you just ended up creating two annoying bad characters. Buddy is a mute rat who assists Surly. While I like his wide-eyed innocent personality and upbeat optimism, I can't understand why he's so loving and forgiving towards Surly. Surly walks all over Buddy. He orders him around like a servant and acts passive-aggressively towards the poor rat. I honestly can't believe why Buddy would put up with years of this shit. What does he see in the selfish-ass squirrel? Raccoon is yet another leader who pretends to care but is really tricking his community. He's not even a good example of the character being done right, because he doesn't seem like an automatically trustworthy guy. There's something shady about him as soon as we meet him, and so the twist that he's abusing his power isn't a shock. The reason why a character like Lotso from Toy Story 3 works is because he's introduced as an exceptionally kind bear who goes to extra lengths to convince the new toys that he means well. So when we learn that Lotso is really a monster, we are surprised by the twist, but also convinced that he managed to use his charisma to trick the toys for years. Raccoon is just the same character but poorly executed. Precious is the gangster's guard dog. She's kind of cute, but there's something about her plot that disturbs me. You see, Surly uses a dog whistle to control her throughout the movie, which is creepy enough, but by the end of the movie, she's acting like Surly's loyal friend without the whistle. I find this really unsettling, implying that Precious has been abused into becoming Surly's friend. The movie plays it off as Surly won over Precious's trust, but that's hard to buy when Surly is such a horrible character. I'm going to give 1 point to the characters. What can I really say about the animation for this film? It's not the worst, but it's also not the best. It's very average run-of-the-mill computer character animation. Characters do what's required of them on a basic, competent level. There's nothing significantly noteworthy about the animation in terms of quality, comedy, emotion, or style. I guess Buddy's silent animation is kind of charming, but the film doesn't really do much with it. The only character's animation that gets annoying is Grayson's, because he's constantly bouncing about like he's eaten a nut made from cocaine. But other than that, there's not much to get worked up about regarding the film's animation. On the one hand, it's good that it's not painfully terrible like Food Fight. On the other hand, it's a shame that it's not got much ambition to raise the bar. I'm going to give 2 points to the animation. Will Arnett voices Surly, and this movie manages to do the unthinkable. It makes Will Arnett sound unfunny! How is that even possible? It's like giving £1 million to someone and they stupidly set the notes on fire.
Raccoon would approve of this. Oh, really? Raccoon? That guy? He's a bigger thief than I am. But those blockheads can't see it. They're blind as mole. I'm the brains of this outfit. I'm the guy with the brains. Did I already say that? Raccoon's nothing but a lying old sack of fur. What?
Katherine Heigl voices Andy. She does a good job capturing her character's empathetic nature and sensible attitude.
Raccoon, Let me organize the trial. Just give the order.
Another trial? He's never learned!
He needs something more severe!
He is a clear and present danger!
No, we do things by the rule of law. Let justice take care of him.
Brendan Fraser voices Grayson, and he is the worst actor in the cast. He's talking way too fast, so it's sometimes hard to take in what he's saying. And Fraser's overperforming can be exhausting to listen to.
Look at us! Off on a heroic quest! I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate our anniversary.
Hey, we are not dating. This is an important mission to find food, right?
You're right. We're past those silly labels. Ours is a love...
Well.
Liam Neeson voices Raccoon, and while he is effective at sounding intimidating when we see Raccoon's dark side, he's not very good at pulling off the good guy act. I think this is mainly thanks to the direction, though.
Did Grayson see this nut supply?
No. We got separated.
Let's all wait until Grayson gets back.
I don't know if Grayson's ever coming back.
Maya Rudolph voices Precious. She sounds kind of cute, but there's nothing really remarkable to say about her performance.
Can we be friends?
Oh, great.
Come on. I can do all sorts of stuff. You want to see? You know what? I can fetch things. Huh? I can sit. Oh, look at this thing. This is crazy. Woo, woo, woo. Has a mind of its own. Oh, I can play dead. Watch.
I'm going to give 2 points to the voice acting. The original music for this film, which was composed by Paul Inson, is your typical generic score for a zany family comedy. Most of it sounds like any other orchestral music you'd hear in a film like this. It is very vanilla and doesn't have much of its own identity. Sometimes, a scene will include a little harmonica and cheeky jazz to match the crime themes and heist narrative, but these kinds of tracks are very rarely featured, and seem to be only used as a novelty. I wish that the score was consistently going for this blues style, because it would have made for an overall unique soundtrack. The film also features the hit South Korean pop song Gangnam Style from Psy serving as its theme song, which really baffles me, because as far as I know, Gangnam Style is a song that's specific to South Korean culture, a satire on Koreans who act like they're part of the wealthy Gangnam district despite not being attached to that elite. What has that got to do with a bunch of animals stealing nuts? Yes, I parodied the song for a pistachio nuts commercial at the Super Bowl, but that's a really obscure reference if that's the context. The fact that this film is a co-production with a South Korean animation studio does partially explain why Psy's song was a prominent part of the movie, and it's clear that the song was forced into the film because it was the most famous Korean song in the West at the time, which will greatly date the film. If you're going to make a pop song a big part of your movie, at least pick one that's relevant to the narrative. I'm going to give 2 points to the music. To conclude, The Nutjob is a boring, bland, unfunny and poorly made movie that'll most likely fade from my memory very soon. It doesn't have any timeless appeal, and I can imagine it being lost among the dozens of other films just like it. However, I don't understand why it's on so many top 10 worst animated films lists. It's rubbish, yeah, but it's not exactly overwhelmingly bad like Norm of the North or A Cars Life. There's nothing distinctly awful about it. I've sat through much worse than The Nutjob. Now, I've actually seen Surly Squirrel, the short that inspired The Nutjob. While it's not very well rendered, it's definitely much better executed than The Nutjob. It unapologetically frames Surly as the bad guy, has more laughs, provides a snappier pace, plus the juxtaposing worlds of the animals and humans blend much more smoothly, because they share their plots together. I honestly think that the premise works best as a short film. The Nutjob has gained 7 points, which translates to 1 1/4 almond-flavoured strawberries. If you enjoyed such films as Over the Hedge and Open Season, then I think you might like The Nutjob. I'd just like to point out that the graphics for this video were produced by ToonGrin. If you'd like to request commissions from them, here's their website on screen. I've been Jambareeqi and I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, then please consider supporting me on my Patreon. It will be greatly appreciated if you can make a pledge. Thank you. I'd also like to give a big shout out to 2 of my newest patrons, Mark Pettit and Alexis Martin. You folks rock! Anyway, what am I going to be reviewing in the next episode of Jambareeqi Reviews? Well, I was thinking along the lines... Hang on. Something weird's happening with my computer. What the...
Hello, Jambareeqi.
Who the fuck are you?
I am Ethics.
Again, who are you?
Really? My presence didn't give away any clues?
Presents?
Remember when your show was hacked into and you were forced to review Moshi Monsters the movie?
Yes.
That was me.
You fiend!
Do you also recall receiving a mysterious package containing Space Chimps 2?
Don't tell me.
I packaged and posted that by hand myself.
You monster!
And I was responsible for sending you today's review, The Nut Job. But I'm fiercely disappointed that it didn't break you. It's okay though. I always have a backup plan. You see, I just managed to hack into your website and alter the poll for the next episode of Jambareeqi Reviews. Poll for the next episode will only consist of some of the worst films ever made.
You bloody sodding bastard! Wait. No. It's okay. It's okay. I can just get my fans to submit nominations for good movies.
Oh, did I fail to mention that there's also now no nomination option? Next time on your show, prepare to review something so bad that it'll make you crumble into the fetal position and cry a puddle of tears. You're not really in your house, Jambareeqi. While you were sleeping last night, I broke into your home and moved you into a virtual simulation of your bedroom. Now just get comfortable, relax, and wait for the poll's results to be announced.